Go to bed.
But we're gonna get unblocked.
Sometimes you see him out there and he's just fucking asleep.
Get a pillow, get a blanket.
No, I'm not a fucking dirtbag.
Go to bed. Tired, dude.
Good night. Go to bed.
We got some cheap ass chairs, dude.
These are probably the worst chairs.
I think this is glued. I think this is glued together, actually.
Yeah, with Elmer's glue
yours?
sticks. Yeah.
Where'd you get these?
Oh yeah, they're from the store.
What, Harbor Freight?
Yo, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Go to Bed podcast. I am your co-host, Feeki, and I'm here with my co-host, JP.
Dude, nice. Jinx.
So yeah, we're starting this podcast, and we've already recorded a couple episodes, but we wanted to go back and do a little intro episode just to get the shit going, and kind of explain what this is or what it will be, and our plans. So
I want to start off by saying we don't have a sign behind me and Feeks because I slacked and Keegan slacked, the go-to guy for cheap signs. So just keep your eyes out for a sign.
Well, this is a podcast, so they're probably just listening.
Like if you actually close your eyes. Everyone, close your eyes right now and picture a sign, and then we're good. That's it. What
type of sign? What are you even talking about?
Like this, if you should go to our YouTube, Go to Bed, just search Go to Bed, and it's the channel, and then you could watch this podcast if you're at home and you have nothing to do.
Which is everyone, because you're all fucking losers. So, yeah, before we get too far into it, we do have everything set up as far as gotobedpodcast.com, at gotobedpodcast on Instagram. On our website, you can find some of the worst merch I've ever seen, and you can thank JP for that.
I designed it. So if there's a little bit where it's not fully the image, that was my fault.
And I think I did add a banner on the store that says, "Welcome to the world's worst merch store," or something like that.
I think we should keep our merch kind of shitty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, we're running with it. But yeah, and then on there, we also have links set up to our Patreon account and our PayPal account. So if you want to give us money for no fucking reason, because we're millennials and that's what we do, we want money for nothing, just go to gotobedpodcast.com and you can do that there. And also, so we have some shit set up on the Patreon. I can't even remember what we really did, but there's different shit as far as like you can call in live to the show, or you can submit questions, and all that stuff's accessible through the Patreon. Mm-hmm. And our top tier, which I will shout out every episode until someone does it, we wanted it for $100,000, but Patreon only lets you go up to $15,000 per month. So for $15,000 per month for a minimum of 6 months until you reach $100,000 or whatever that math is, JP will get Go to Bed tattooed on the side of his head. So, and that's limited to one spot, so not everyone at once.
Yeah, there's not like you could definitely team up and pay for it, but you better have $100,000 saved. Like you can't be like, all right, Jeff is paying first month $15,000, and then Kyle's gonna pay the second month $50,000. Like no, you have to have 100 right then, and then do a monthly payment or all in one, or don't even fucking think about it because we don't play. That's a tattoo. That's going to be on my head forever. And I'm not going to puss out. I have a unicorn. I've got an eyebrow with a top hat and a mustache. Or no, it's an eyeball with a...
Yeah, learn your body parts.
Yeah. There's some really good shitty tattoos on me, and I would not be ashamed to get a Go to Bed one for $100,000. And I'll split it with Feeks because we're co-hosts. So I get $50,000, he gets $50,000, and we're happy, dude.
Get that bag, and I don't have to do shit for that, so let's go.
Maybe you could film it at the parlor thing.
Nah, I won't be there. Busy. All right, so this podcast is really fucking pointless, and there's no reason for us to do it, but we just want to because it's fun.
And we want to make money by just doing this.
And we want to just shoot the shit with people. So we're going to have different guests on it every episode. And so, yeah, we'll have some sponsors and all that stuff too, which if you're interested in sponsoring, you can email us at gotobedpodcast@gmail.com. And yeah, so what is Go to Bed? Yeah, we already secured one sponsor.
Let's say, who is
Walden's Coffee House.
Boom.
3 locations in Reno on Wells, Arlington, and Mayberry. You can go there for the best breakfast burritos in town.
Or burgers, or tuna melts, or build your own scramble, not at Arlington location. And shout out to Chef Michael, the man behind all the ingredients, homemade everything.
And JP only knows all that shit because he used to work there, not because he's actually into the sponsorship. All right, so what is Go to Bed? Tell him.
Go to Bed is just a funny saying. So anyone in the moto community out there listening, you might know Buttery Films. He has his thing where he just says, get a clue. And that is just so funny in the scenarios he says it in. It just fits perfect. So there's like my buddy Bubba, who I used to work with, grew up racing with. We all know from racing. He's just an outgoing, funny guy. He would say, get a clue. And then we were talking. I used to work with him. We were talking one day and we're like, man, that's cool. He's got to get a clue, but we need our own so we don't look like corny copying Buttery, which you're still kind of copying, but not really if it's totally different. But so one day Bubba was like, yelling at someone in Virginia City where I worked. And Virginia City is like the oldest town. It's like, it was around when all the continents were together, you know?
It was Virginia City, Pangea.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that old.
Dude, it's old.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think, what's the name of the donkey?
Stinky, dude.
You think Stinky was around in Pangea?
His grandpa was or something, dude, because those things are native to that city. And they seriously they raise donkeys and ostriches there. Actually, it's a true fact. No camels. Yeah, it's camel racing.
They have ostrich races too, and outhouse races, I guess.
And a candy shop that makes fresh candy every day and doesn't sell it.
It's basically the most fucking pointless city in the state. But go on.
So, like, and speaking of that, people just cross the road with no crosswalk because there is no crosswalk. So probably someone did that in front of Bubba and flipped us off, and he got mad. And he probably said, "Go to bed!" All. And it was just so funny, and I've never heard that before. So I think that was it. But
so Go to Bed is essentially like the world's shittiest insult because you say it with that tone of like "fuck you," but you're telling someone to go to bed, so they don't know what to think when you say it to them. You're like, just go to bed, dude, and they have no idea what to think.
Yeah, and it's awesome. And one time, Feek said, change your shirt to someone, and their look on their face was like, what the fuck? That doesn't even make any sense. And that's the same thing you get when you say go to bed. So it's super funny, and that's why you all should listen. So what do you think if we call Bubba and see where he first thought of that? Should we do that?
Call him up, see if he answers.
All right. Put this on speakerphone.
Oh, declined.
Wow.
Try one more time.
That was weird.
Fuck.
Okay.
Fucking up the episode. All right, let's just prank call the neighbor instead.
Yeah. Should we give him a backstory?
I'll give him the backstory. So we have this neighbor named Biddy. Maybe she'll hear this at some point. But this chick is like the ultimate like neighborhood fucking cop type. Like we moved into this house and we had the garage open right when we moved in, and she rolls through and we were like setting up the garage with all the bikes and shit, and she comes up, and this is the type of neighborhood where these couples, it's just old people, and they just do laps around the neighborhood walking. And so they pull up, her and her husband, Biddy and Terry, and just starts going in on all this neighborhood shit. And she ends up getting JP's email and like put him on the neighborhood list in case there's any crime. Then you get an email, and she was talking about how there used to be a fucking cougar down the hill, and it was eating this dead deer for like 6 months, right off the walking path. All this shit that we didn't care about. So we're like, fuck, that was weird. And then, so fast forward, fuck, that was probably a few months. I think you were here by yourself, right?
Yeah.
And you were just blazed out of your mind.
Yeah, I ate 100 milligram Cheepa Chew, and I was absolutely spaced. And she comes to the doorbell, and our doorbell is just a standard ding dong, but she was like ding 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 dong ding 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 dong, and I was alone, didn't know who was at the door, and I'm thinking, yo, if I ever ring a doorbell like that, I'm either like in a panic or really mad. So I'm alone, really high, and I'm scared. Like I start getting scared. I'm like, what's going on? So I like creep down as quiet as I can so they don't hear like the footsteps, because I'm in a 2-story house, and peek outside. And as I'm looking, she's turning the corner of the sidewalk to our driveway with our doormat in her left hand, and I'm like,
well, you didn't know it was the doormat at the time. You just saw her carrying something.
Right? Yeah, I saw her carrying something. It was I
She's
just saw
walking
the
away
black
carrying
end.
something.
Yeah, the rubber underside of it was black.
So then I come home
Maybe
hours later,
Yeah,
and the doormat is like in the driveway, like yards away from the door. I'm like, which one of my sons fucking put this out here and why? But that happens a lot in this house where shit gets moved around, and I'm just like, what's the fucking reason? And there usually is no reason. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I don't really think much of it. And then I see JP later, and I'm like, hey, what? Why was the doormat in the driveway? And then it clicked in his head. He's like, dude. And then he tells me this story about Biddy and how she was walking away with something. Must have been that. So she fucking jacked our doormat and just moved it for no reason. So like, what the fuck? So then that night I changed our Wi-Fi name to Biddy Stole Our Doormat, hoping that she could see it. She's several houses down, so I don't know if she has ever seen it, but definitely the neighbors around here have seen it. And she's like a neighborhood legend. Everyone knows her because she's shaped like a pine tree.
Even
kind
the
of just
person that
waddles
used
around.
to live here said, have you
Right. Yeah. Because right when we moved in, we got a package, and I ended up delivering it to this person's business that used to live here. And she's like, oh, did you meet Biddy? I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, got it. But so yeah, I changed the Wi-Fi name, and then like a couple weeks after that, I'm here alone sitting on the couch, and same exact thing happens. Ding, 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 ding. So I pussed out because I'm like, fuck, she saw the fucking Wi-Fi. I thought she was all pissed. I didn't want to confront her. So I did the same exact thing. I creeped up to the door so she wouldn't hear me coming. And then like I looked up through the peephole, and she was walking away. So I never confronted her about it. But that's kind of the backstory on Biddy. And then just recently this year on Halloween, we all like dressed up, and we're trying to scare the bunch of pussy kids in this neighborhood where their parents wouldn't even let them come to our door. And Biddy like came by, and we had masks on, like, but we're right in front of our house. Obviously she knows it's us, but we're just standing there, and we like made it a point to not say anything to her. So she was like, man, you guys are scary. And then it was just silence. We were just staring at her through the mask. She's like, come on down to this party. And we just did like a head shake side to side, like no, but didn't say anything. And she just kept talking. And then JP like put his arm up and pointed down the street, like, get out of here. And then she fucking left, and we haven't talked to her since. Yeah. So then now our latest encounter with Biddy is a couple of weeks ago. It snowed heavy up here, so our trash pickup got delayed. The trash guys couldn't get up here, and our shit was fucking full. Like both the trash and the recycle full to the brim because I forgot to put it out the week before. And then they didn't pick up the trash, so it was delayed. And then I got a call from Waste Management a few days later and was like, oh, they'll be here on Saturday. I'm like, cool. So I just left them out on the street because I knew I'd forget, and we needed the trash to be emptied. So I just left them out there. And then no one had checked the mail until, I guess, yesterday. and Neil picked up the mail, and he fucking hangs this note on our fridge that I'm looking at this morning, and it's a typed note on a half sheet of paper. I'm staring at it right now on our fridge, and it's a half sheet of paper. So she fucking prints this out and then cuts it to fit, and it pretty much says like, put your trash cans away. If you haven't heard, Waste Management's not coming till Saturday. You don't want a note from Collin Ranch Homeowners Association. And then it says like, if there's a hungry bear around, you don't want them smelling your trash. And it's like, bitch, they're either going to be on the fucking street or they're going to be 20 feet behind the gate at our house. Like, the bear's going to fucking smell it if there's not a bear here anyway. But it's just so weird how she just fucking patrols like this. So you want to give her a call?
Yeah, let's give her a call.
I looked up her number.
*67.
I don't know if this is her actual number or not.
This girl is so crazy. I told Neil and Alex just a few minutes ago, I was like, that's a guy. Like, that's one of the first transgenders out there. Like, she's she's an icon to some, you know?
All right. Well, when she hears this, then it's really going to be on fucking Neighborhood Feud.
Wonder what should I say? Should I just...
I don't know, but you tell her to go to bed afterwards.
Okay.
There's the number.
Okay. Should I do area code?
Yeah. 775.
775.
All right, he's dialing right now.
7020. Here we go.
Hold it like this, too. Oh, no.
What's that?
I don't know. But that's, let's look up her hubby, because there was another number listed on there.
Oh, here it comes.
All right, try this number.
Top one?
No, bottom.
It's weird. It says current.
I'm going to be bummed if this doesn't work.
620.
And who knows if *67 even works. Has anyone confirmed that?
Yeah,
This is a huge myth.
I tested it with my old friend Josh. Where is Josh Lee? Listen to like if anyone's listening and went to fucking Sealiger Elementary, where is
Dude,
Josh
no one
Lee?
went to Sealiger. It's another myth.
Home of the Pirates, dude.
All
Okay,
right.
ready? Calling this number.
This could be the husband, so ask for Biddy. No. Do not say you're having an affair. Leave a message. You're a Serta salesman.
Oh, they've been putting trash in my dumpster. They're trash in my dumpster.
Now there's not going to be a fucking voicemail either.
What is up with this family? Can you figure out what they do for work?
I think they're retired.
They're
They
definitely
do enough
retired.
fucking. They do enough laps around the neighborhood to be retired.
Dang, I think
All
it's
right, we'll try to call Bubba back then.
okay, let's
He's
see.
got his fucking phone off. Probably doesn't have any fucking service in Silver Springs or wherever.
He's probably at the fucking Cactus
Unreal.
Jack bar, dude.
All right, well, we'll call them another time. But
Damn.
that's the backstory on Biddy and has nothing to do with what we're talking about anyway.
But she's definitely a big influence to go to bed.
Yeah, she definitely needs to go to bed. She needs to get some rest. But yeah, go to bed is just one of those stupid insults. And there's a couple other times that have really solidified it as a saying, like, fuck, we were in Vegas for Supercross and you're in like, if you've been to Supercross, you know it's like gridlock traffic getting out of there no matter what. And we were in that, and JP had the window down in the van, and he's just like kind of slumped over, all tired and shit.
A little
We're just
tipsy.
waiting to leave, and this fucking drunk kid comes up to the window of the van, like stumbling up, being all loud. He's like, "Hey, you guys got any dip?" And JP looks at him. He's like, "No, I'm not a fucking dirtbag." And like, if you met JP, he's just got one of those fucking faces that you can't be mad at. Like, he's just always smiling and shit.
Funny.
And the kid was like, "Oh, well, those are fighting words, homie. And JP's all, no, they're not. Go to bed. And he had no idea what to say. And then he was fucking parked like 2 feet away from the van, and his friends were right there, and we were just stuck. Like, we couldn't have left if we wanted to. And we could just hear him like, that guy called me a dirtbag. And all of his friends was like, oh, dude, like, who cares? Just let it go. And he was so worked up over it, over just stupid fucking dirtbag and go to bed. And then another thing that I was really excited to talk about on the podcast at one point was Joey Savacci, who's one of the top 450 riders. He's on Monster Factory Cowie or whatever. His Instagram is Versace Savacci 17, right?
Yep.
Let me double check that. Yeah.
Well, I can't search anymore.
Versace Savacci 17. And a few months back, JP just randomly was trolling on his page, and he commented like, dude, go to bed, on one of his posts. And Savacci gets a lot of likes, but he usually doesn't get too many comments on his photos, maybe like 10 to 20. So he definitely can see the shit. And he actually responds to JP, and he was like, LOL, it's not even 9:30. Like he didn't get that it was an obvious joke. And so then ever since then, every single fucking time Savacci would post, JP would say something about going to bed. It would either be like, get some rest, go to bed, or he had one where he put like you, like W-E or Y-E-W-W-W-W. And JP comments like, more like yawn, go to bed. And I was excited to talk about that because it's verifiable. Like you can go on Savacci's page and just click on any of his photos and you'll see JP Films, like, go to bed. But fucking not a week before we started doing this, he fucking blocked JP.
Yeah.
So that's really, really disappointing. If you go on there, you'll see me on like 1 out of every 4 photos. I'll say go to bed or something. But now I don't want to get blocked.
Yeah. But we're going to get unblocked. I think I'm going to Oakland Supercross this weekend. I'm going to bring the camera with me and I'm going to film it. I'm going to go up. I'm going to wait in an autograph line. Get a poster. I'm gonna get it signed, and I'm gonna have him say to JP Films, say like first just sign Savacci, and then put like I'm just gonna ask him like, can you put go to bed on there, and then also can you unblock me, because like it's support, but also like it's advice.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
Like yeah, I mean, sometimes you see him out there and he's just fucking asleep.
Tired.
So, and if you go to at Go to Bed Podcast on Instagram, you'll see we only follow 3, and it's myself, JP, and then Savacci. So hopefully we can get him on the show one day. That'd be fucking hilarious.
That'd be awesome.
If any of you guys are into moto or on Instagram, just go on Savacci's page and just fucking type "go to bed" on just all of his photos, or get some rest or something,
or tag Go to Bed Podcast and say like, look, you're really inspiring people. Like, we know you don't get to bed, but other people are trying to because they see you struggling with it. So, or anything, or just if you want to just be plain and just say go to bed, tell them, because it's all advice. It's a part of criticism.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better myself. And and I think the third instance that really solidified the whole go to bed / get some rest movement was we were going riding in Gardnerville the other day, and we stopped at Maverick in Carson City to fuel up and get some snacks and shit. And we were right behind this guy in line. I was right behind JP, and JP was right behind this guy. This guy was at the cash register, and this dude's on the fucking phone, and his card kept getting declined and shit. And like, I think the funniest part was that he was buying 2 fucking quarts of 10W30 at Maverick. Like, this dude was just out of it. And like, he was about to just fucking walk away because his card wouldn't work. And then they were finally like, oh yeah, it's working. He's like, okay, fine. And he finally hangs up the phone and he's paying and shit. And so JP like sneaks up behind him kind of, and he's like, hey, you seem tired. And the guy looks at him, he's like, yeah, I am tired. And JP's like, yeah, make sure to get some rest. And the guy's like, I am going to get some rest. Like, just totally clueless that it was a fucking insult. But that was another good moment for the movement.
It's crazy. It's like not an insult, but an insult, you know?
Right. Same with change your shirt, you know? Because then it's like, well, what's wrong with my shirt? Nothing, but just fucking change it.
Get that thing out of here, dude.
So that's pretty much the podcast in a nutshell. Like I said, we're just gonna have some guests on and just talk shit, just like we are now, and people can listen and watch on YouTube, listen on YouTube and the podcast app or whatever. And hopefully we can get some people kind of interacting and asking questions that we can do on the air, and we're going to come up with different segments for the guests and all that type of stuff. And we're also going to have guests, like we know a bunch of business owners in the area, so we'll have them on, and we want to have people on that are kind of no filters and not afraid to talk numbers or talk shit or do whatever. And then we're also going to have some people on that aren't business owners, just people from all different walks of life. And then hopefully we can kind of level up the guests from there and
get this thing rolling, because this is it's cool to, like, we've already done 2, and it's cool to get to know the guests more and have fun talking. Like, there's nothing but a recorder in front of me, so it's like real cool, you know.
All right, so we should be let me think. We'll be shooting to drop once a week, probably on Mondays, I think. And
you think Mondays?
Yeah. That's the most tired day of the week.
That is so true, dude.
People need to wake up and then get some rest. But so we're aiming to drop once a week, so we wanted to stockpile a couple episodes before we actually start dropping, and then we're getting our little studio set up a little bit better, and it looks even worse on this one because we got the camera tilted so you can fucking see outside of the black. But either way, we're getting it moving, and we had Alan come over, my producer, and he got the shit mixed and sounding crispy.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Synagogue Beats on that. What else we want to say?
We want maybe, like, whoever's listening, if you know someone that we don't know that would be good for a podcast that, you know, has a crazy life, like not 1 or 2 stories. We need like a good, crazy, like not crazy, but just not a general person. So show them the podcast, have them listen.
And then just email us at gotobedpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. And we're Go to Bed Podcast on everything. So yeah, I think that'll probably wrap it up. That was a decent intro of what it's going to be and what it is and all that. So
perfect.
All right. We've mentioned it enough times, but go to bedpodcast.com and you can find everything there, and we'll get this wrapped up for the first episode.
That's right. Make sure to go to that website, get a pillow, get a blanket, get a little mug for your chamomile tea, because I know it makes your little sleepy ass tired, and go to bed.
Good night.